You know, I told you recently, chums, about the fact that, of course, Prince Harry and his team, his communications team, have decided that they want to, well, come back and forth on a more regular basis. And that was the sort of remit behind the idea of, Harry's flash visit over here, giving away thousands, if not millions, of pledging pounds and seeing other people, getting pictured, etc., the sort of thing. But of course, what people didn't realise was that Harry was hoping to make a faster return than first thought. But this particular plan fell foul. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you, and thank you so much, by the way, for your lovely support on the artiste, the comedy legend that is Mr. Tommy Cannon. He got in touch, which is nice to know, and he's read a lot of your comments, so thank you. Means a lot to somebody, and Tommy won't mind me telling you that he's well into his 80s now, still as sprightly as ever, still got a wonderful singing voice, but it's nice to know, and this is the thing of the channel, that people are still wanted. He's very much wanted, as I say. He's doing his one-man show and all sorts of different stuff. But thank you for your lovely kind comments, because it does mean a lot to people. And there's many people, as I've often said here on the show, that are out there on their own, and many, as I've often said, chums, they said, Neil, you're my company. It's lovely to have your company. Don't ever forget that. We're together, don't worry. But you know what I mean? It's people forget that people are on their own. And if you've been a big superstar and suddenly you've chucked on the scrap heap, or you've given years to an employer and you're treated badly, it is always hard to get over. It doesn't matter what age you are. We all need to be wanted. Seemingly, though, of course, Prince Harry wanted to be wanted by this. Let me explain. Absolutely. As you know, Harry popped over here recently, and what was interesting was the whirlwind sort of visit, wasn't it? The old Harry was back playing with children, all that sort of stuff. But there was one person that he simply couldn't connect with, and that was his elder brother, the Prince of Wales, Prince William. And what I liked about seeing was this particular clip where William very much opens up in a forthcoming documentary, but very sincerely and with no self-pity. I think that's the thing that I liked. He talked about it being a very difficult year for him and his wife Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and how one of the things he really treasures, and I think we all do actually, is sleep. Because he said when you've got 3 young children, you're just always tired, and you think, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Everybody's just normal in the sense. Now, what a lot of people don't realise is that every year, over the last few years at least, His Royal Highness, His Majesty the King Charles, alongside Prince William, the Prince of Wales, regularly have a couple of days together up at their cherished place, what they like to call their switch-off place, which is Balmoral. As many of you know, I've been and reported up there on many occasions. Wonderful place. You do feel like you're stepping into a different world, you know what I mean? Everything just seems to drain away the pressures. I can understand why the late Queen Elizabeth, liked that particular area. It started out, of course, by also Queen Victoria. Now, according to a very well-placed source, and I mean an excellent source, apparently Harry offered to join them on this particular father and son get-together, and this was at that particular meeting. Now, the idea really was that this would be an ideal place, away from the prying eyes of the media, etc., etc. And you can understand exactly how Harry, and particularly Meghan, mind were working overtime. Now, the other side of the coin is, as we've now seen, and this is the problem with Harry, the moment he escapes or goes back, he decides to reveal all the sorts of things that are meant to be kept private. Can you imagine William and the King literally having the moment to relax and talk about things privately, knowing that whatever they said, even if they'd invited Harry, well, it couldn't happen. Now, many people, whichever way you look at it, you have to say, I'm sure Harry at certain points has some good intentions. Even through all that fuddled mind, he must think, what did I throw away? What have I lost? But it is lost forever, because neither one would dare to trust, and there lies your bigger problem. Now, of course, Harry will go back and use this as, I've tried and I've been kind and I've offered, but nobody wants me, all that sort of stuff. And again, this plays very much into the narrative of Meghan Markle and the way she operates to make people think, well, look, they just don't want us no matter what we do. Either way, when you watch the documentary in full, which I've been lucky enough to do, you can understand why Prince William cherishes that time with his father, alongside, of course, his very supportive wife, Catherine, the Princess of Wales. And why would you want to ruin that, knowing that that particular person who you once trusted so much will literally just take it to the media, although, of course, pushed along by his wife, the former cable TV actress Meghan Markle. Whichever way you look at it, it was the right move. Anybody else agree? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.